Hello. Here we are, episode 4 of CAPERS, The Chicago Way. When will somebody actually react to something that's going on in the Chicago Way? We'll find out. Do any of you, my players, do you know the reference? It's not a slang term from history or anything like that. It's actually from a movie.
No, I don't.
Yes, it's on the tip of my tongue. Sean Connery was in the film, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's from The Untouchables, which is set in
Yes.
Chicago. And when one of the Sean Connery telling as like the wizened veteran Irish cop in Chicago, the Irish beat cop, telling Elliot Ness that let's see if I can do the accent. He brings a knife, you pull out a gun. He put 20 years in the hospital, you put one of his in the morgue. That's the Chicago way. Okay,
so you gotta raise the level of aggression.
Yeah, I'm just saying that sometimes things get aggressive, and here we are in episode 4, and things are going to potentially get aggressive because Madfish, Satroka did a bad thing. She snuck off by herself inside of a warehouse, and she got caught. But you've got new glasses, so you'll get to see all of us react to what happens to you. So that'll be fun, right?
You guys would have to see me making that weird face.
Also,
Scream where I'm
you won't be leaning in at the camera nearly as much.
trying to figure out what's going on. Yes.
Yeah, brand new glasses. They look spiffy.
Thank you. Yeah. She's gonna be fine.
Yeah, last episode.
I haven't already started.
Last episode, the group decided to go to try to figure out how they're going to restock Sully's pub, given that there's not as much coming in from nearby Milwaukee, and it's hard to use the same suppliers as the Northside Irish or the Italian mob are, because they always kind of want to be in on that action. So everybody kind of started to look around and examine ideas for ways to get more booze and beer for your favorite speakeasy, and bounced around a few different things. You eventually went to the Hawthorne Hotel. Tell us about who went. What was the name of that guy? It wasn't Kieran. What was his name? That showed up at the Hawthorne Hotel and talked to Marie.
Oh, Jimmy Ciparelli.
One of your alter egos.
One of many.
So we got to meet one of them, and you met Marie, and she was talking to you. She was so happy to meet all of you, and there's a lot of back and forth about stuff there. Ali was the only person who managed to get useful information out of anybody because everybody else boned all their trait checks. And Ali made friends with the bartender. Surprise!
The best kind of friends.
And there was dancing to be had, and also shunning of dance partners on some people's parts. And eventually, the group decided to go kind of take a look around at this Torio gang warehouse. They wanted to kind of scope it out to figure out whether they were going to just buy something. What do you got, Ali?
You skipped the casino.
Well, yeah. Oh,
you skipped the casino.
Ali bet on black. Ali bet on black a whole bunch of times on the roulette wheel, and then he made the mistake of betting on red.
Yeah,
and he lost all his money. You still ended up like $30 ahead or something like that, right?
I did. Yeah, I came out ahead of where I started.
A little bit.
So
he's ready to spend all that fat cash. But then you went to take a look. Like the thought was you might make some purchases from this warehouse, or maybe you just steal a little something, or maybe there were options. So you went to take a look at it, and Rose discovered that apparently the fella kind of running the show there was this real tall, lanky fella that she knows from her past, and she kind of got really tongue-tied and flustered, and kind of emotional when he kind of blew her off and didn't seem to really know who she was or what she was talking about. And then Satroka decided, well, I can turn into gas, into a smoke cloud. So I'll just fly into the warehouse and look around. And she looked around and she found all the stuff that was there. And there's liquor and booze and bottle and beer and everything hidden amongst other things. And she flew all around and she went and looked in the office and she dug around there and she found a little cash box. And she hung around a little too long. And somebody walked in the door and caught her. And there's a woman standing there looking at you. And that's where we begin again tonight. You are in the office with the top drawer opened that you had to pick the lock of to pop it open, holding a cash box, a small, like a little lock.
Oh no, I popped that in my pocket.
Right, but you have it. You grab that, you pop it in your pocket, and then you hear the door open, and there's a woman gangster type looking there. She's looking very sporty. Kind of got the gun mall thing going on with the loose jacket and open collar shirt and a fedora. And you don't see any weapon on her immediately, but she's looking right at you. What are you doing in here? Come on with me.
I don't know if I should leave, if I should disappear, or if I should just follow. I'll just follow.
Okay, you follow along. She grabs you by the wrist and starts to kind of haul you along, and her hand is incredibly cold. Like you would swear that she has been in a freezer or in a blizzard. Her hand is so cold. As she hauls you along and she says, "Hey boss, hey Giuseppe, we got someone here. Someone's snooping around the place." And the three of you outside.
I'd like to take this opportunity to vanish.
Okay. At this moment, she hollers that out kind of toward the front of the place. She yells it out pretty loudly. And the three of you outside see the lanky fella kind of perk up, and you hear like a muffled shout from inside. You can't really make out the specifics, but you see him perk up and turn around, and he reacts to whatever's being shouted from inside, and he pulls out a pistol and starts and very purposely and very quickly walks back inside. And just as he goes inside the door, one of those big dock doors, you see that he kind of looks out and he motions like he's motioning or pointing at someone or something else.
Hey, buddy. Yo, Mac.
Who are you talking to?
I'm yelling at the tall, skinny guy.
He's inside. He disappeared.
Kieran will follow.
So just leisurely stroll, or
oh yeah, act like I'm not out of place at all.
Ollie, Rose.
Ollie's definitely following Kieran's lead on that.
Rose is kind of holding off for now. She wants to see what happens first before she makes any sudden move.
Okay, and inside, a sudden move takes place as Satroka, I guess, disappears, goes gaseous.
She'll just turn into smoke and just back out as fast as possible.
Okay, we're gonna do this real simple. We're gonna jump into an action sequence. We're gonna get an initiative here. So,
I'm sorry.
that's okay. This is how this is how it goes sometimes. So I need everybody to make a agility sense reaction check, which is a 1-card flip. Remember, when it comes to reaction kind of stuff, you flip 1 card based on your agility, and you add your agility score plus 1 more if you have the sense skill.
Who's pulling from my deck? Somebody just pulled the red deck.
Not me. I didn't even start. Is that Satroka? Did you
No,
pull from the
it's
wrong
burgundy.
deck?
That was my bad. Sorry.
It's all good. I don't want that card anyways. I'll take it though. It's the bad Joker.
Well, that's terrible.
Mhm.
The bad Joker. Oh, okay. So I'm not last. Nice.
Oh no.
Rose, we got a card. Even if you're not immediately doing something, we need to put you on an order.
Alright.
Pardon my stupid dog barking.
So I'm guessing
Dog.
Kieran is going to beat Satroka. I don't think either one of you is like super agile that you're going to surpass the other one.
Mine is 3.
Right. So
Right.
so you've got a 10, and Kieran, if he's got even a minimum agility, he's got more than 10.
Got an agility of 2.
So Kieran, Satroka, and then
I have an agility of 2, so.
Does mine even matter?
no, you're last.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
And I've
You're
got
like super last.
and to explain
yeah.
I've got 2 cards there because I'm splitting the foes into 2 groups, but that'll essentially be going practically simultaneously anyway. Okay, things are happening inside, Kieran. To give Satroka, you go insubstantial. You turn into a smoke cloud, and you start to back away. And as a reaction to that, just real quick, her hand that she was holding onto you with, the cold hand, actually starts to turn like bluish pale skin color, and a rime of ice starts to form on her fingertips.
I knew it.
And it's Kieran's turn as things are happening inside.
Aaron is going to try to draw as much attention to himself as possible. He is going to yell at the top of his lungs, "Hey, I don't appreciate being ignored. I came here to do some business, and I ain't leaving until I do some business."
Okay, how about you give me, unless you've got like a power up your sleeve, you don't really have a target, there's like nobody outside, so this is more of a shout with like a charisma,
Okay.
deception probably, to kind of try to get somebody's attention and kind of cow them into paying attention to you,
Yeah.
draw them away from whatever's going on. And we can go ahead and dump our cards.
So Kieran will go ahead and make a charisma check. See how he does. That's pretty good. Queen of Hearts.
Okay, as you're screaming and yelling, and you see a fellow with a Tommy gun who kind of passes by one of the dock doors, like maybe that was who the skinny guy was motioning to, and he kind of takes note of you and looks outside, and he doesn't just walk out and just like, "Hey, what's the problem, sir?" He comes out like, he's clearly ready for something to go down and be a problem. He's got his gun. He doesn't have the Tommy gun aimed at you, but he's got it
Right.
like out, and he's eyeing you up pretty good. So you've got his attention. Satroka, what are you up to?
I'm getting away.
What?
I'd like to run away.
Okay. How would you like to do that? Would you? I mean, the only clear exit right now from where you are is like kind of right past her out the door.
Okay. But I hear the yelling
Oh yeah,
as well.
She shouted. Somebody else shouted back. You hear footsteps.
Yeah, there was yelling. Okay. Well, I can get up to the ceiling again. Because they can't get me up there. Just go straight up.
So you're gonna just get out of reach as best you can.
Yeah, like I'm gonna go right up, and get up out of reach, and I think I want to kind of, yeah, like I'll start moving toward the exit but along the ceiling.
Okay, so up to the ceiling, out toward the door. I mean, if you're not taking any other sort of actions, you can actually move a fair distance doing that. So
Okay.
you can get
So
up,
I think
up,
I'll do that.
up
I'll
to the
just I'll
ceiling,
get up.
past her, out the door.
Yeah.
Start floating further up toward the warehouse ceiling.
Yeah.
But you are clearly a cloud of smoke that is moving of
Yeah,
its own
but I'd
volition.
like to. Well, I'd like to thin out as much as I can and try and.
Well, you are effectively a cloud of smoke, roughly the size of your body.
I am, yes. So it just kind of, yeah. But it doesn't really. I don't think she really takes much of a shape. It's just sort of a.
No, you don't look human, but you're kind of like a bulbous like mass of smoke that's about the size of a person. About
And smells
about
like a-
5 or
smells like a
5.5
really nice
feet
cigar.
long, a foot thick, couple feet wide.
Yeah. Smells like nice cigar smoke.
So
So
you
I
smell
think I'll
good.
just spend my whole turn just booking it out of there.
It's very important that you smell good.
It is, obviously.
Okay.
But I think, I kind of want to keep an eye on everybody. Like I still want to be where I can still see what's happening.
Well, you're right out in the middle of everything, so it's
Yeah.
everything's pretty visible, and you're up above, so you've got a bird's eye view.
Okay.
The woman turns around and kind of she kind of freaks and sees you smoke out past her, and she follows you outside, and she points her hand at you, and she lets loose with a kind of a beam of whitish blue from her hand. And this hits you, and it hurts you, and it is ice cold.
No.
Yes.
What?
Look at your power.
What?
You can be
No.
you can be hurt by some things.
I know that. Ro doesn't know that.
Gotcha.
This has never happened to her before.
Okay, well this
So
is
she's just like,
this is
what?
Good Joker counts as a success in spades, so it's effectively and she's doing suit damage normally with this, so it's going to be 4 + 2 damage. That's 6 cold. Freezing cold that chills your smoky form, and kind of causes you to start to condense. Like you start to rain a little, like water droplets start to fall out of you.
She's gonna aim for where there's like big wide rafters in the ceiling.
Right.
In case something happens, she wants to be over.
She wants to.
Something.
She wants to be up in the rafters and not fall to the floor.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you'll be able to maneuver there properly next turn. That's the good Joker, which means that's a good Joker, which means I get another action.
Okay, so you took out of my hits. You took 6.
6.
Okay, that was half.
You can spend a moxie to reduce the damage if you want.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna spend the 1 moxie that I have. And that will reduce it by 1?
No, you have to. You flip a card and you reduce by 2 if it's a red card, by 4 if it's a black card.
Alright, it's a red card, so I only take 4?
Correct.
Okay.
And put that moxie over in the moxie pool. I can't do it myself because I'm currently holding a card that I was about to flip.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. Alright. Get rid of that. Come on, computer.
There we go. And because it's the good Joker, she gets another action and she fires again. That's going to miss. She's going to gamble that you're tougher than that. And that's going to get you for 3 more. I'll stick with that. I'm guessing a king probably hits you. I don't think you're better than a king.
No.
And since it's suit damage, Hearts does 3, and then she hits you with that.
So that's another 3?
Yep.
Okay.
And then the lanky guy comes in and sees what she's doing and starts looking around. He fires his pistol up in your general direction, and basically nothing. He misses. The bullets don't do anything. And the fellow that was walking by the door outside that Kieran was yelling at stops, and he's basically checking you out. He's not. He's like, what do you want? Get out of here. We got business. We got problems to deal with. Who are you? He can't seem to figure out what he wants to do how he wants to talk to you. And then it's Rose's turn.
Okay.
So now you have heard gunfire from inside.
I'm not gonna walk over to where Kieran and Ollie are. That's about the extent of my turn, is just walking over. I have no choice. I don't really feel like yelling anything. I don't really feel like rushing to get there.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna walk.
So you meander over, and Ollie, what do you got up your sleeve?
Well, first I'm going to activate my damage prevention boost just because danger is happening. And I'm going to slip my hand in my pocket and hang on to my pistol. I'm not going to draw it yet. I want to size up the room. Like, what can I see as far as enemy combatants at this point?
So you're gonna go up and enter.
Yeah, I'll at least peek my head in the door so I can see what's going on.
Okay. You peek your head in the door, and the fellow that was talking to Kieran whirls around and levels his Tommy gun at you. Since it's not his turn, he does not fire, but he is now he's aiming. He's getting ready. Inside, you see what I have previously described. You see a cloud of smoke up in the air that is dripping water, and a woman who has.
It's embarrassing. Okay.
Who's a woman gangster who's standing there with kind of a ice-covered hand, as well as the lanky fellow with a pistol. He's pointing his gun up there, and then down like a corridor, way down, you see another gangster with a Tommy gun, who's just kind of. He's standing kind of down at the end of this aisle, kind of mouth agape at what he's just seen, because he's apparently witnessed, like he's looked down the aisle and he's seen the ice stuff flying and the smoke lady. So he's kind of marveling at that right now. He's not acting.
Okay. Can I take a combat action, or is examining everything kind of using up my turn?
No. You mean you can if you're just taking in what's readily available. So
okay.
If you want to get in on somebody, yeah, we're kind of keeping this. Technically, everybody's got speed scores and stuff, and we're kind of going a little fast and loose with this and keeping it cinematic.
Okay. Well, since the dude is pointing a gun in my face, I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger on my pistol and fire through my pocket into his gut. Because I don't like having guns pointed at me.
As a point of information, you are firing through Kieran's jacket.
Well, yes.
Because you borrowed wardrobe from Kieran.
This is true. There may be a whole...
All right, sure, go ahead and give me... You're shooting at the goon. We're going to call those guys with the Tommy guns goons.
Sure, I'm shooting at the goon that's literally right in front of me.
Goon number one.
Goon number one. And I do have guns. Is it expertise guns?
Agility guns. Shooting is agility.
Agility guns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expertise guns would be good for knowing how to take apart a gun, clean it, and put it back together.
Gotcha. I'm going to stay with the queen of spades there.
Oh, I imagine so.
Yeah.
So what kind of damage are you doing to this poor bastard?
Suit +1. So that's going to be 5 damage.
You sure about that?
Wait. Oh, do I got to pull again for the damage, or
No. It's all in the card that you just flipped. I'm just testing my graphic designer, who has who has familiarized himself with this game for many, many months.
I'm sure you're just trying to throw me for a loop, is what it is. Yeah, it's 5 damage because it's suit +1, and I got spades, which is 4 damage.
What else? What else about spades?
What do you mean? What else about spades? It's a black card.
Spades is always a boon.
Oh yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
So you can make that 2 more points of damage, or you can have some other effect that's appropriate to
Oh
shoot.
no, I'll take the 2 more points of damage on it.
Okay, yeah, you blow him up. If you wish to, you can blow him up, or you can knock him out. I mean, if you want to just murder him, you can just murder him.
I mean, I'm shooting him in the gut. I think it's just gonna murder him at this point.
Okay, he's murdered.
Do I have the wherewithal to pick up his Tommy gun before my turn's over? Can I do that? Next
We're
turn?
gonna let you. We're gonna wait to see if somebody else maybe gets to that first.
Okay, sounds good. That'll do it for me.
Kieran, top of the order.
This went in a direction Kieran was hoping it wouldn't go.
There's been gunfire. He's ruining my wardrobe.
Well, I was going to try to get them to turn against each other, but it's not going to work now because he's dead. All right. So has Satroka left?
You haven't really gone inside, so you haven't seen anything other than just like that guy that was kind of in the doorway. Whereas
Okay, so I'm not even inside yet.
Ollie ran inside.
Okay. I'm going to follow Ollie inside, sort of take assessment of the situation.
Okay. You see the dead guy. You see Ollie standing there with a smoking hole, like where it's like smoke is coming out of the jacket pocket of your nice jacket that you loaned him.
Do I see anybody else in the room?
You see the lanky fellow shooting, pointing his pistol up. Pointing his pistol up in the air, and you see the woman with the icy hand, and you see a cloud of smoke up above.
Okay. Is anyone looking in my direction, or?
Not immediately. They're all kind of focused on the cloud of smoke.
Okay. How far away is the lanky man?
I mean, within. Oh well, call it 30 feet.
30 feet. Okay.
What you doing?
I am going to.
Gonna tackle him and tickle him.
I am going to try to. I'm gonna hit him in the face with my cane.
Okay. We can call the cane a makeshift weapon, which I believe is actually. Let me double check what the damage on a makeshift weapon is. Improvised weapon.
I didn't think that the cane would be an
Color plus
improvised
one,
weapon.
right?
I thought it would be an actual weapon.
Well, I mean, just relative to. I mean, it's not going to do like a club or sword damage. It's not really designed for that.
I thought it was
Not
color
even like
plus
a-
1. Am I wrong?
Color plus 1 sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know things.
Yeah, it does color plus 1.
Could I just shoot him instead then?
Sure.
All right. I'm gonna shoot him.
As long as there's been gunplay.
Kieran pulls out his pistol and shoots him. So let's see how badly this goes. So first draw is a 9 of diamonds. Knowing what I know about this system, I know that that's most likely the minimum that most people would have for their defense.
Yeah.
He's thin though, so I'm gonna guess he's probably wiry. So I'll draw again. And I'm glad I did. Jack of Hearts.
Okay. This is the lanky guy.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a pistol. You're doing
I'm shooting him to wound, not to kill.
right. And in the game, basically, hits are they're an abstract kind of thing, much like hit points in D&D and in a lot of other systems. So when you're shooting at somebody who has a lot of hits, you're kind of wearing down their luck, and they're getting them to they're dodging a lot until they finally make a mistake and not dodge quite the same way. And then when you do that final blow and you deal you drop them to 0 hits, that's where you can basically decide whether you're going to kill them or just knock them out.
Okay.
So you're dealing. It's a pistol, so that's suit plus 1. So and hearts is 3, so that's 3 plus 1 is 4.
Yep.
For that fella. Anything else?
If I can yell at him.
Well, I mean, you can talk to him, but you've basically used your action to.
Oh, I know. I've
to
used my
attack.
action.
Yeah, unless you want to spend a couple moxie and get another action.
No, I'm gonna hold off doing that. I'm just gonna quickly yell at him as I pull the gun and fire out. You need to stand down, Mac.
Satroka. The rescue party has arrived,
I think I will.
but you are still being shot and icicled.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn into myself again. Up in the rafters.
Okay, so you're gonna get up. You're gonna be like balanced, or are you gonna be on your feet? Or are you gonna be kind of sitting there, lower center of gravity?
Yeah, low. I'm gonna be low. I'm gonna sit.
Okay,
And I'm low on hit points too, so
gotcha.
I'm not feeling great. So, yeah, I also want to be less of a target. And I'm going to. Yes, please stop shooting. I'm sorry. I do wrong.
Okay. Are you like actively pleading to get them to de-escalate the situation, or are you taking another action and that's just kind of what you're saying as you're doing it? Because basically, when it comes down to when you have your action, and your action is the thing that you typically use to affect the situation in a significant way, and so you can use an action to talk to somebody and in the case of Kieran, he was trying to get people's attention. In your case, you could be trying to de-escalate things, or you can just be talking as you're doing something else. That's your action.
Well, I'm trying to think about like if I want some. Do I have a weapon? I think I have. Oh no, I don't have a ranged weapon, so there's not really a whole lot I can do. So yeah, I'm gonna try and de-escalate it. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm sorry. What were you doing? You don't have a gun.
Sorry, someone came to the door.
That's okay.
Yeah. So I am gonna try and de-escalate.
Okay. It's a charisma check. Who are you talking to? Because
The ice lady.
Ice lady. Okay, so charisma check. With like diplomacy or deception based on what you're trying to do. Are you going to lie your way out of this, or are you going to just come clean and be honest and tell her that you did a bad thing and you'll give the money back and blah blah blah?
Well, they don't know anything about the money. Nobody saw anything about the money.
It's a question of deception or diplomacy. Are you going to lie your way out, or are you going to come clean on whatever you did? That's the difference between deception and diplomacy. Lying and truth.
I don't have specialty in either.
Well, that's okay, but I still need to kind of know what in order for me to have them react. What kind of?
I'm honestly giving myself up in terms of they caught me breaking into the filing cabinet.
Right.
I'm just gonna gloss over the part about. I'm just not gonna mention the cash box, and if nobody else mentions the cash box. It's in my dimensional pocket.
I gotcha. Are you offering to surrender?
Yes.
Do you mean it? Are you going to give yourself up if they say okay? You're going to walk away with them if they say yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's diplomacy.
Okay.
If you were full of crap and you were just saying that was just a line of bull to get them to stop shooting at you, then that would be deception. Just to help kind of clarify how that works.
I only have one more card. And I don't think I'm going to do better than that. Because I'm not that good. And I have a sneaking suspicion my next card will be like a 2. So I think I'm going to stick with that.
Okay.
Stick with the jack.
The ice lady hesitates. She kind of brings her hand down, but she doesn't like overtly welcome you and say, "Okay, come on down here. We're gonna go have a talk with somebody," or anything like that. But she seems to have hesitated on what you've just said. The guy with the pistol, on the other hand, keeps shooting. No, he doesn't. He does absolutely nothing, and his gun jams. Because that's the bad Joker, and things go poorly when you draw the bad Joker. So that's them. The guy with the Tommy gun, who is dead, does nothing. The guy with the Tommy gun at the end of the aisle spends his round running down because he sees his buddies now in trouble. So he basically spends time getting down there and kind of, doing, kind of looking around. He's just seen somebody, or a smoke cloud getting shot at. He's like, something weird's going on. It's a bunch of those capers. So he doesn't bolt down the aisle. He's kind of waiting for something to jump out of the shadows at him. And he spends his round doing that. And then it's Rose. And so you're outside still a little bit, and now there's continued gunfire.
Yeah, Rose is gonna run in now.
You run in to see, one dead dude with Ollie heading toward him. A guy with a gun, with a pistol shooting, or actually, he's a guy with a pistol. The lanky guy that you were talking to has his pistol, and he's angrily trying to get it to work. You see the cloud of smoke, you see the ice-handed woman, and you see another guy, another goon has just appeared with a Tommy gun.
Oh, no, I'm me again.
Oh yeah,
I'm
right. You're up in. Yeah, you see Satroka just hanging around in the rafters, holding on to joists.
Kieran's standing in front of the lanky guy with a gun out.
Yeah,
pointing at him.
And some schlub has just showed up with a Tommy gun that he's pointing in everybody's general direction.
Well, Rose is gonna get a little mad. She's going to pull out her gun, and instead of pointing it at one of the lovely, lovely Italian men, she's gonna point it at Kieran.
Oh, jeez.
Kieran, what do you think you're doing?
Look, I don't know who this Kieran fella you're talking about is. First off, the name is Jimmy. Second, why are you pointing that thing at me?
Because you're pointing a gun at someone else.
Who was pointing a gun at one of our friends. It's how this works.
I understand that's how this works,
Oh,
but I'm
okay.
not willing to let you shoot this guy.
So maybe we all just need to calm down then.
Yes.
Breathe, talk this out like civilized people.
Yes. Maybe if you put your gun away first, we can actually talk this out like civilized people.
The lanky guy sees what's going on here, looks at you, Rose, and says, now did you I assume you used your name back in the day. You didn't try to hide who you were back at that time. He says,
no, I was Rose.
Yeah. He says, do it, Rose. And he gives you like a little wink, and that takes you right back to that moment, and he did that exact same thing in that alley.
Rose fires a warning shot at Kieran.
Okay, so firing wide.
Yeah.
And then it's Ollie's turn. Ollie, you've just witnessed this. What do you do?
Okay, so, are they close enough to where I'm at that, I overheard this whole conversation, or?
Oh, yeah, they were shouting at each other.
Okay. Well, I'm still going to bend over and pick up the Tommy gun from my dead Italian friend.
Excellent.
Cross myself in the process. And let's see. I think I'm going to level it up at the Ice Queen. Not necessarily fire just yet, but pipe up and say, I, for one, would like to know what the hell is going on here. Click, click.
All right. Did you want to? We can do this. We can introduce this to everybody who's watching. Did you want to prepare an action?
Yes.
Do you want to fire that gun if something specific happens? You can prepare a specific action for a trigger.
I want to fire the gun at the Ice Lady Caper. Should anything escalate in aggression? So if
Anything at
anyone looks,
all, or
any
her,
of the opponents,
or
any of the opponents,
any of the opponents.
No, any of the opponents. Not Rose. If Rose keeps shooting, that's on her. But
Hey, Kieran, how's it going?
if any of the other guys with guns look like they're gonna fire, like they start to shoot at all.
Okay, any of the guards or anything. If any of them does anything, you're gonna unleash on the Ice Queen.
Yep.
Okie dokie. Kieran, how's it going? Your turn.
Okay. I'm going to slowly put my gun away. Keep my hands where everyone can see them. And say, okay. I suppose we can all talk like civilized people then. I'm sure we can come to some sort of arrangement. I'm like, so how about it? Let's talk. I guess this would be charisma.
Who are you talking to specifically?
I am talking to the skinny guy.
Okay. Yeah, charisma, like just diplomacy or deception, depending on kind of what you're planning.
Diplomacy. That's a 3 of hearts. That's not gonna do it. Nine of hearts. Not quite what's getting at the charisma. Okay. Ace of hearts.
Okie dokie.
Just he's got his hands up.
Okay. You get the skinny guy to kind of calm down, hesitate. He stops cranking at his gun, trying to unjam it or whatever he's doing to it.
Yeah, let's all just put our guns down and have a little chat.
You've got a boon there. Would you like to do something else with it? Something with the boon?
Can I use the boon to just basically convince everyone to just maybe not put their weapons away, but at least put them to where they're not pointing at each other?
You can use the boon to get one other person to do that.
Okay, guy with Tommy gun.
Guy with Tommy gun.
Yep.
Okay. Satroka, he kind of, he's still got his gun in his hands, but he's no longer pointing it right at Ollie, which is where he was starting to focus in on.
Yeah. I will come down. Okay. Nobody is my fault. Nobody else hurt, okay? I'm coming down.
Okay.
No shooting. And I look at the Ice Lady. pointedly. And I'll turn into smoke and come back down and reform next to her.
Okay.
Hands up. No guns. I got nothing. I got no weapons. And I have nothing on me. Nothing.
The Ice Queen does the Ice Queen kind of she walks over kind of close to you. She doesn't grab you or anything, but she's right there. And as as she walks over, you get a kind of a closer look at her. She's as she breathes, as she exhales, it's coming out like fog.
I'm trying not to be impressed because she's supposed to be maybe not on my side.
The lanky guy.
I'm really impressed, and it's kind of hard not to be.
The lanky guy stows his pistol back in his shoulder holster. The guy with the Tommy gun runs over to check on his buddy. And doesn't immediately shoot Ollie, which is what he was going to do if Kieran had not calmed him and had chosen the Ice Queen instead.
We had ourselves a Tarantino standoff right there.
Yeah, well, and that's why I put that to Kieran. I said, okay, who are you calming down? And if he had chosen the other person, there would be gunfire right now. And everything kind of de-escalates. Everybody, the three of them still have their weapons available. In the case of the Tommy gun guy, it's in his hands. But nobody is shooting at anybody, so we're effectively out of initiative for the time being. Anyway, everybody's gonna get. Ollie's not gonna get any because he's full up. And Zatroka survived. I'm going to give you one extra one for surviving, because that could have gone really, really poorly.
And I also have the vice of being reckless. So, and I gained Moxie when I have a new experience. That was definitely a new experience. Getting hurt. Realizing that I can get hurt when I'm in smoke. What? She's still...
You rained.
She's kind of mad about it.
You never rained before, I'm sure.
No! That was super... I think she's embarrassed about that. I think that's kind of embarrassing. So she's not even saying anything. She's just standing there, their hands up, and she's waiting for everybody else to figure out what they're going to do. And she doesn't want to make anything worse.
So the lanky guy looks to Rose. So what's
Rose
this?
is starting to tremble very visually.
So what's this all about? What are all you doing here?
We were thinking of purchasing some stuff from the Italians. But apparently, one of us decided to do something wrong. I stare at Citroka, very noticeably angrily. And now we're in this situation.
He looks to you hear the Ice Queen says, Giuseppe, she saw it. She was in the office. She was rooting around in the file cabinet, and she saw.
I not see papers. I look in cabinet. I open cabinet, and then I get caught. I not see anything inside. I thinking I look for delivery schedule, and maybe we find or other source of booze. That's all. I just looking for maybe a name or a number or something. It's wrong. I do it sneaky. I not tell anyone, and I get caught. It's my fault.
Giuseppe says, you saw something else in there and you know it. And this is, he doesn't say this out loud, but this is Craig reminding everybody, you saw a dead body with its throat slit in a pool of blood in the corner of the room.
And she knows. Very, very, she knows not to say that she saw that. If you not want me to see that, I not see it.
Well, it's already done, so the best thing we can do here is find a way for it to, I don't know. Let's get you involved in what's just happened here, too. He looks to Rose, he says, can these other ones here, can these three friends of yours be trusted? As much as I can say they can be. He looks over at his dead buddy.
Well, it depends. What do you need us for?
Well, there's a little mess in the office there. I'd like you to take care of that. You do this favor for us. And just for the record, you know this from talking to the mob too. He's not, when he says something, this is you don't know for sure, but you suspect that Giuseppe is a made man. And if he is, when he says stuff like "you do this for us," he's not talking about for the three people who are here right now. He's talking about for the mob. You're doing this for Capone and Torrio and all of the other made men and women, for the mob itself. So you're basically doing a job for the Italians. That's what he's offering you.
I can do this.
What about these three? He kind of, he asks you, but then he kind of looks around to all the other ones.
No problem.
I trust these three to not get me killed. So, they're good.
He looks. He kind of looks at Ollie, who's holding the the Tommy gun. Says, "You mind giving that back?"
No, I think I'll hang on to it for a while.
He smirks just a touch. Then he looks to Kieran and says, "Is there going to be a problem with you? You going to hurt my little flower here?"
Oh, no, sir. I'm a smart boy. I know when to listen and when to follow orders. We'll take care of this mess for you. No problem.
At this point, he asks the woman, kind of goes over there and whispers a bit to her, and you kind of catch bits and pieces of the conversation where basically she's going to keep an eye on you as you take care of this. And you catch her name. Her name is Lizzie. He calls her Lizzie, like he's on a fairly friendly basis, kind of nickname basis with her. And he says, you take care of that business out there, you get rid of that body so nobody's ever going to find it, clean the place up, you come back here, maybe I cut you a deal. Now I gotta go deliver some news to somebody's wife.
Got it.
And he and the goon, the remaining goon, go over and kind of start talking, like out of earshot, quietly with one another. And Lizzie is basically just kind of keeping an eye on the group of you as you clean the situation.
Yeah, I'll just kind of go over to the office and
Rose is gonna go upstairs and see the damage that she has to clean.
start like I think she'll get right to the body and start covering up all the blood, like using taking the corpse's coat off and turning it around and wrapping him up and stuff.
Is this person anyone I would recognize?
I would say Satroka doesn't. She didn't before because this she kind of lives in her neighborhood, in her world. That's what it feels like. Is that fair to say? Ollie, I feel like he's kind of the same way. He kind of he lives in his neighborhood, in his world.
And I've only been here 2 months.
Sure.
So
I think Kieran and Rose probably are a little more worldly and paying attention to things that are going on around the city. You get in there and you start, examining the body and figuring out how you're going to get it. You gotta take it. You gotta, get it out of there, clean it up so that it's not dripping blood wherever you're going. You got to clean the place up ultimately too. And you kind of get a chance to get a good look at him, and you see that this guy is. Whoops, I wrote that down. Hold on. That the man with the slit throat, the man who's lying there dead, there's a fella in town whose name is William Thompson. He's the former mayor of Chicago and the current head of the local Republican Party. People call him Big Bill Thompson. And he's heavy in the political arena right now and probably going to be running for something in the not-too-distant future. That man right there who is dead on the floor is little Bill Thompson, his eldest son.
Oh. And Kieran does a really good job of not showing his surprise. Like his eyes just kind of like get big for a second, and then he just keeps it to himself.
When
So we're trying to clean up this body then. Kieran's gonna look over at the woman who has the ice powers and goes, "Excuse me, miss. Could you freeze his hands?"
She kind of looks at you funny, and in full view of all of you, she
Solid.
She walks over and she, one by one, first one then the other, actually encases them in a sheath of ice, like they're in a small block of ice, not like a big, like hey, but she, like they're each in an inch thick chunk of ice, all the way around. So it'll stay. It won't melt right away. It'll stay frozen for a while.
Well, my intention was that she could freeze them enough to where we would be able to just smash them.
Oh, I mean, you'll be able to...
Like, so that they're just in, like, little pieces.
I gotcha. You'll probably be able to do that. I'm assuming you're not going to do that here.
No.
So, the point is that they'll stay frozen for a while.
Okay.
Rose is going to examine the body. Figure out what she can find out about it.
Does he have any sort of identification or wallet or anything like that on him?
Sure, he's got a wallet and a whole bunch of cash.
Kieran will take the cash.
Gold cigarette case and a lighter.
Ooh, especially that. Kieran will definitely take the gold cigarette case.
It's monogrammed. It says LBT.
He will pocket that.
He's and then he's got like, his hands are encased in ice now, so you can't really get at that. But he had a wedding band on, and he had another ring on his right hand. He's wearing very, very nice clothes, although they're not in good condition anymore. But they were once very nice. He's got a monogrammed handkerchief. And the hat's no longer on his head, but he had a fedora with a hat band and a like a little, like one of those ones with the little feather tucked in the side.
Oh,
it's very nice. That's the only thing. Like his shoes and his hat are the only articles of clothing that are actually in decent shape anymore. Not bloodstained.
What I'd like to do actually is, while we're doing this, because I tried to, I took the cash box from here, right? Mm-hmm. This was where I took it? Okay.
Yeah, you're in the office. Yeah, the top file cabinet drawer is open right there. Okay.
So I want to try and return it without being noticed.
Sure. So that's kind of that's an agility.
I have sleight of hand.
That's agility, sleight of hand. We're gonna call, because since you're magically appearing it from your dimensional pocket.
Yeah.
So it's not like you have to palm it or keep it, because it's kind of a big object. Since you've got that advantage, we're gonna call it agility, sleight of hand, with advantage. So one additional card, because nobody's expecting you to, make that thing appear from nowhere.
Oh, all right then.
Yeah.
I guess I will just take that.
You do that super, super well.
No one has any idea that I ever had possession of this cash box.
No, we'll go so far as to say, because this Joker comes with a boon automatically, that none of your compatriots even. They were all bit. You did it at just the right timing. They had no clue. None of them have any idea. They didn't even see you walk by the file cabinet. It's your little secret.
Yeah, I just figured they'll come after me for that now that I got caught. So, yeah, all right, and then we'll just go back to helping them clean up, and I'll just put the hat on because.
So Ollie's take on all this is he doesn't really trust the situation very much, and it's kind of written on his face. While he's got the Tommy gun lowered, like he's not aiming at anybody, his finger is still on that trigger. Like he's ready to go, and he's not going near that body. He's just watching the situation and keeping his eye on the ice chick and at the door, just looking to see how things play out. If there's an opportunity to turn things to our advantage, he's probably going to take it. Or if things start to go sideways, he's ready to start shooting.
Okay, so
he looks kind of like he has an itchy trigger finger right now, very uncomfortable.
Right. In most other situations, when you guys would be doing something bad, you'd be the lookout. Which is code for I'm preparing for things to go down. Let everybody else do the work. Gotcha.
Except I'm not looking out for the cops to get here. I'm looking out in case shit goes sideways with these guys. But yeah, I'm just not comfortable with the situation.
No, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. They're gangsters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna ask Kieran what his plan is, seeing as how he froze the dead guy's hands with the Ice Queen's help.
The plan was that so we could smash his hands. Harder to identify a body that way.
Oh,
yes. Why don't we just remove his face?
We can do. Water is good place to put. Wash away and take away from the area.
Yes, if we're by an ocean, we should stick him in water.
Or a river.
Or a really, really deep river.
Chicago has a river. It's called the Chicago River. It empties into Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great place to put a body.
But okay, we have to get body. We took a cab here.
Yeah, I didn't mention he's got keys on him.
Okay, so we will take. We have to take his car and not be seen. Nobody see. Take
Rose.
the car out.
Yes.
Go somewhere, take body, get rid of car, or change car. I think.
Could you get us a bottle of liquor?
Why don't you ask the lovely Ice Queen here?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She glares at you.
I assumed that you were all friends.
Oh.
Little flower.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you my whole backstory. It really, really sucks that I didn't I? Too bad.
Lizzie, was it? I look at the gun mall.
Yeah.
Do you think you would be able to get us a bottle of whatever the cheapest liquor you have here is? Nothing fancy, nothing expensive, just liquor.
Sure.
It's either that or hydrogen peroxide.
If we get pulled over when we're moving him, it'll be a lot easier to convince someone, if he stinks of alcohol, that he's just drunk instead of dead.
Okay, then you'll take the body to the river and I'll clean up.
Don't look at me.
Oh, I'm not looking at you. I'm staring daggers at Rose.
Is there a problem?
No problem, boss.
All right, lovebirds, quit your bickering for a few moments and let's get this job done.
All right.
Getting tired of
Ollie,
standing
would
around
you
here.
be
Things are
able
not
to, help me
comfortable.
carry this body.
I ain't touching that thing.
Citroka? I can't carry this body by myself.
I pick it up. I'm gonna, I'll take, like I've, wrapped up around the neck and everything to make the
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So, yeah. So yeah, I'll take get my hands under his arms.
Okay, I'll take the feet then.
All right, so you haul this guy out. You leave the bunch of blood behind.
Ollie is actually, as they're picking him up, he's gonna, without dropping the gun, take off Kieran's jacket and toss it over the top so you don't see the blood stain all over his shirt. So it's just kind of laying across his chest, like they're covering him up like a blanket, and then ready the gun again. But Kieran's jacket is now soaked in blood with a bullet hole in it. Oops.
Kieran's having a bad night. Okay, so you take the body. They direct you to where Little Bill had parked his car. He's got a Duesenberg sedan. It's a really, really nice. It's like one of the newer models. 4-door with a trunk.
Do we get to keep the car?
Painted burgundy. I don't know. That's kind of up to you guys. You're going to be putting a.
No. Ollie said that in character. He's talking to his compatriots. He's starting to warm up to this idea now with this nice.
I'm assuming a Duesenberg sedan is a fairly expensive car.
Yeah.
And is there anything about this car that looks customized or unique? Anything that would identify it?
There's not a great deal of customization of cars in this era.
Okay.
That said, there's the 1920s are interesting as far as cars go because there aren't just like a handful of large car manufacturers. The automobile is relatively new, and there's a lot of small manufacturers. And over the course of the next 20 years, many of those get bought up by the handful like Lincoln that slowly kind of become the big companies. So when you look at, you can walk down a street and look at a bunch of cars and never see other than like a Model A, the really heavily mass-produced ones. But if you're walking around like a nice neighborhood looking at the really nice cars, you can walk down 3-4 blocks and never see the same car with the same color and options and whatever it's in there, just because the cars are all made by different manufacturers, so they're all a little different,
which makes them all distinctive.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, a Duesenberg is going to be.
I'm guessing you don't see a lot of Duesenbergs.
Well, you don't see a lot, but at the same time, there aren't so many car guys and gals in the era. There aren't people that like study these things and know these. They just they'll see a fancy car and be like, "Oh, where's that from?"
I look over at Ollie and I say, maybe we can give it a paint job.
Okay, so you take the Duesenberg. What are you doing? Where are you taking the body?
Is Lizzie coming with us?
She does not appear to be.
Okay.
She's not.
Rose,
Oh, sorry.
Rose, you going to be all right here? You want me to stay with you?
Sure. I could use some friendly company.
Let me ask you this, Craig.
Sure.
On our way out the door to the car, is the warehouse empty now, apart from Lizzie, or is there still people walking around in there?
No, those guys are still there.
Okay. Just curious.
Giuseppe and the other fella. In fact, after you guys kind of start to clear out of the office, you go to take the body out. Giuseppe shoos the two women out of the office, or basically shoos everybody out of the office briefly, and you can see there's a window between the office and the warehouse area, and you can see in the window. He goes in there and he's on the phone for a short time, and then he comes back out. But you guys go out to the car, and yeah, there's Giuseppe and Lizzie and the other fella all hang back at the warehouse.
All right. So how many of us are going to dump the body? Is it
Looks like it's just the two
here?
fellas.
I think it's just you and me.
All right.
Is okay that you guys go? I don't want leave.
It should be fine.
Okay.
We'll be
Make
all
it a
right.
quick trip.
Hey, you come back.
Okay, so where do you take the body, and how do you get there?
I imagine Kieran knows his way around the city much better than Ollie does. So
Probably would. Is there any place that would be near either the river or the lake that is sort of run down, where there wouldn't be a lot of foot traffic right now?
At this time of night, there's quite a lot of places along until you get kind of more toward downtown. Like when you're back out, you're going to have to go. Well, actually, you guys are out in Cicero, so you're going to be making your way in to get to the river a little bit. And like in the downtown area, like there's really nice, like the Tribune building and all the, all these really nice buildings are all right along the river. The river's, there's scenic, there's walks and all this kind of stuff. There's office buildings right next to it. But then the like back, further inland, a lot of what's on the river is factories.
Okay.
Once you get out of the downtown area, because they're dumping their sludge and whatnot into the river. Rivers are necessary for factories of the era, for many, many types of factories. So yeah, I mean, finding a place that's relatively dark and not foot trafficked at this time of night, sure.
Okay, that's where we're
So
gonna
you go find
shoot for.
some factory area.
Yep.
while we're driving, shall we have a conversation?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Are you driving the speed limit?
Yes.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Taking her slow.
Oh, Kieran makes sure we're driving the speed limit.
Yeah, which is like 20 miles an hour.
Right.
Because
You can speed a little
your
bit.
your car only your car tops out at about 80. And that's only on a paved flat surface.
We'll say 25.
Yeah. Okay. So you're getting along. So, all right. Have a little talk. You're tooling
Sounds
along.
good. Sorry about your jacket there, friend. Wouldn't have done any good for anybody to see that crimson collar he's got there.
Jacket is the least of my concerns right now.
Yeah, speaking of which, what's your game plan here? We came for liquor and we end up hauling bodies. I don't like being beholden to the mob.
Well, how was I supposed to know that we had someone inside of our little group who turned on us at the first opportunity? Something I couldn't plan for. Also, you didn't really help anything by gunning that guy down.
Hey, he pointed it at me first. It's self-defense.
But you didn't have to kill him. That complicated matters considerably.
You tell me what you're going to do the next time you're staring down the business end of a Tommy gun. I pulled the trigger. That's what I had to do.
I'm very good at convincing people to do what I want.
Well, that's very nice for you. But for me, I think I'll try my luck with the good old iron side I have here.
Well, next time, can we at least come to an agreement that you won't start gunning people down without maybe giving me a little warning first?
If there's time for a warning, I'll give you a warning next time. How about
Fair
that?
enough.
But that still leads us to what the hell are we doing now? So are we playing this game? Or are we gonna dump this body and play nice with Capone and do the whole mob bracket?
I hold up the little golden cigarette case. I go, do you know who that guy was?
No clue. He looks
Little
rich.
Bill Thompson.
Is that supposed to mean something?
Son of the former mayor of Chicago.
Oh yeah, that could be
And
problematic.
also a son of a very powerful political figure in Chicago.
Okay, so what are
call
you planning
that-
on doing with that information?
Leverage.
Yes, but we're the ones getting rid of the body.
Exactly. We
It's our
know.
fingerprints on it.
Right.
We're the ones driving the car.
True. But we didn't kill him.
Except they pin it on us. You know as well as I how these things work. The whole reason they don't touch it themselves is so they have somebody else to pin it on. They're never going to go down for this. We are. It's not leverage.
I didn't say I was going to blackmail them. Yeah, if I tried to blackmail them, absolutely. I have other plans in mind.
All right.
On that note, back to the ladies. Back at the warehouse, the two fellows drive off in the Duesenberg. You are left behind to kind of clean up the office after Giuseppe gets out of there. Take it away, gals. The Giuseppe goes back out to the dock. The Ice Queen keeps and kind of she's not right up on top of you, but she's a little ways off, kind of keeping an eye on you. And then the other fellow with the Tommy gun starts kind of patrolling up and down the aisles again.
I am sorry. I make a problem.
It's okay, Citroka. I don't blame you. But we did have a plan, and you just kind of fucked with it.
They're not really sure on plan, I think.
Alright, so the next time we make a plan, we'll go over it again with you, so that way you understand what's happening. But for now, we gotta scrub the heck out of this floor so that it doesn't look like blood.
I will do. You don't worry. I will do.
No. I'm the cleaner. I do. You help.
Okay.
Okay, great. I'm gonna start scrubbing the floor with hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah. I'm gonna just clean
There's
this
there are cleaning supplies in that little side storage closet. So it's and there's actually a mop and everything. He's like, so you're doing the whole process of like soaking it all up and then cleaning it all up and scrubbing it out. And it's wood floors in there, so it takes like some serious elbow grease because they let that body sit there for a little bit and the blood soaked into the wood a bit.
Yeah.
Let's call this an expertise sciences check.
Okay.
From Rose to kind of take control of this. This is making sure it's all cleaned up and that you can't really detect anything else. And it's knowing how to remove the traces. It's very knowledge based. Like you can doing the physical work is easy. Like scrubbing the floors, anybody can scrub the floors. But like just knowing like what the police might look for, what detectives might notice. That's kind of what you're trying to work against.
Okay.
So it's very much a knowledge based kind of thing.
Well, I don't have sciences, but I have 2 expertise, so here we go.
And you got a big pile of moxie.
Yeah, big pile of moxie. I'm gonna spend the moxie point. Just try one more time, and I did. There you go. That's okay enough for me.
Okay enough.
Okay
right.
enough.
Yep, that's clubs. Comes with a complication. So Troka, you take a look around. After she's kind of directed you and done work herself as well and everything, and you get done looking and you're looking around and you're thinking like no one would ever suspect there was a dead body in here.
Good. Okay. I think it's not so bad.
Lizzie comes walking by. She kind of takes up, kind of pops her head up to the window, looks in, looks impressed, and motions for the 2 of you to step back out into the warehouse area.
Yeah, I just kind of...
You mosey along.
Yeah, I'm looking very quiet.
she just kind of, she doesn't push you along or anything, but she kind of walks with you toward the dock doors, and says, "All right, everything. I think it all looks good in there. I think it's time you can go now." And Giuseppe is just outside the dock doors, and he's talking to a woman who has pulled up with a truck, and they're kind of chatting very quietly.
Yeah, so just before, as we're sort of starting to walk there, I nudge Rose and I'm like, "Are you going to tell us about him?"
I wrap my arm around Satroka's shoulder and say, "Let me tell you about my life." As I walk her away from this horrible scene we just had to deal with.
Yes, I get the life story.
Do you want to? I mean, and the other players can play can role play ignorance, but for the sake of people who are perhaps following along with the story, do you want to give us a little bit of that, a little taste? Because clearly you know this fella.
Yep.
And you can tell as much as you want. You can always reveal more later.
All right, great. So, when I was younger, I was horribly abused by my mother. So horribly, in fact, that I had to consider stealing as an option. I stole for most of my life until I was about 10. Got caught by these lovely Italian people who asked me to do a job for them. That job involved stealing. Stealing a wallet from a dead guy.
Mm-hmm.
All was good. I did my job. I did my part. I got praised by 3 people in particular.
Mm-hmm.
The lanky guy, otherwise known as Giuseppe,
Mm-hmm.
was one of those 3. So,
Okay.
I would like it if we did not kill him in the future.
Right.
But if shit hits the fan, I guess it's okay.
Jeez.
Okay.
It
But I
doesn't
still would
sound
prefer.
okay.
I still would prefer not.
No, he seemed like
I don't think Kieran's anywhere near this to actually
Somewhere
hear
in the
this.
car.
And Rose is in her 20s, yes.
22,
'So
Like-
this was this was a decade ago.
about 12 years, yeah.
Yeah,
Give or take.
give or take.
Okay. And so they what? They raise you? They help you? They give you job?
They allowed me to perform a job for them, and in response, they gave me enough money to survive for the next couple years of my life until I joined a gang and then ranked up to become a cleaner. But that's a different story.
Oh. That's why you are so good at it.
Yes.
I have been up to now been a good thief. By myself, I work very good
I can tell.
with other people.
I can tell. You wear a lot of nice jewelry. It's pretty easy to tell that you're a thief.
Back in the car, cutscene. we'll pop out on that line. You guys are you've got the body. You've got it. You're at a factory area. You can dump the body easily enough. I would just like each of you to make a agility stealth check.
Okay.
And we'll call it with advantage because it's dark and there's nothing here.
Ew. Ooh.
That is pretty great. Queen of Spades.
And that's my advantage. I might just stay on the 10. Yeah, it's a spades. I'll stay with the 10.
Okay. You haul the body. What? Go ahead. What do you do with it? For the record, you both feel like you're being pretty darn stealthy.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, what do you want to just toss it in, or should we say a few words? How does this happen?
That's Ollie. Love it.
If you feel like you need to say a few words, by all means.
Well, it couldn't hurt. I'm no priest. I'm not going to read him his rights, but
Oh, Ollie. Oh, sorry. Let's throw this out here. Actually, Kieran, you would know this. Thompson, Bill Thompson, and therefore you would Big Bill Thompson, and therefore you would assume his entire family are staunch Catholics, like to the point of being Anglophobic.
Okay.
And you're talking to Ollie, who is highly religious.
Right. I tell Ollie, I go, he was Catholic, so if you know any Catholic last rites.
well, like I said, I'm not a priest. I can't read him his last rites, but I can say a few words. And Ollie pulls out his rosary beads and holding them in his hands, just kind of recites Psalm 23. Is that the one? Yeah. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, all that thing. He has the whole thing. He recites the whole thing.
Well, as any good Catholic would.
As any good Catholic would do.
Yeah.
And crosses himself and, all right, I guess now we toss him in the feckin' river.
Let me say a few
Sure.
words, if you don't mind, of course.
By all means.
Let me. Trying to check something. Okay. I am going to use Speak with Objects Corpse Boost.
I'm going to talk to the dead body.
Yeah.
All right.
Does it make it so only he can hear it, or does the body start speaking?
It's a psychic conversation,
Okay.
yeah. So unless I want to spend another boost, in which case, oh no, I don't have that one. I can't make it. So there is a boost that you can
that would
make
be a really
that others can
interesting
hear,
interaction. Yeah.
but I didn't take that one. So no, I'm going to talk to little Bill Thompson
Okay.
psychically, and I'd like to ask him who killed you and why.
Okay.
Now, I know that Corpse Boost works a little bit differently. The person has the same personality they did in life.
Right.
So I might actually need to, convince him a little bit.
Right.
So I will also say that I'm going to get these people who did this to you. You have my word. But I need you to help me.
Okay.
So I can take it down.
well, you are dealing with a personality. You're dealing with somebody who
Right.
has may have thought ideas and motives and so forth. So
Right.
let's see. And are you truly planning? Well, you don't really know if you're going to really go after the people who did this, but so let's just.
Oh, I am going to go after the people who did this. Remember, they're with the outfit. I will absolutely going after the people who did this to him, although not because of him. I'm doing it for my own reasons.
Okay. So yeah, charisma, diplomacy,
Okay.
just to get the corpse talking. I love magic.
Now, since this
All
is
he's scratching his head is like,
am I going to reduce my card count by 1?
Because of using the boost, yeah, you're basically maintaining that boost to continue talking to the corpse.
Yep. Just wanted to make sure.
Yep.
3 of spades. It's not going to do it. 8 of diamonds is a little better. I'm going to spend a moxie. King of spades.
Al Capone.
How fitting.
Yeah. He says, I don't know, but I think it was an O'Banion hit. That's the Irish.
And why would O'Banion want you dead?
Because Pop's in Capone's pocket. And that's something that you've heard as a rumor, is that Big Bill Thompson is like, he's in cahoots with Capone, as probably Capone will likely bankroll, or at least partially bankroll, whatever Thompson decides to do in terms of politics in the near future. And that's not surprising for Capone. I mean, he's got multiple politicians in his pocket. And when I say Capone, I mean really Torrio. It's just that Capone is the one who, like, Torrio's no idiot. Everybody who kind of knows that Giada Torrio's nickname is the Fox. She's incredibly sly.
Right.
And so she has, she's in her, she's close to retirement, as it were. That's the kind of the part she plays. And so she's been grooming Capone for a few years. And so he's, if things go poorly, probably Capone's the one who's going to eat it. But it's probably ultimately coming down from Torrio.
Okay.
She's still very much, word on the street amongst the people who really know what's going on, like you and Rose. Word on the street is that Giada Torrio she's still very much in charge.
Okay. Okay.
And so for the to note too, like you noticed, I'll just throw this in there. This kind of clicks in your head as you're thinking about it. Talking to him is that like, there was his throat was slit, and he was like sitting on the floor in a corner, and there's like a pool of blood right in front of him, but there was no spray of anything anywhere. There was no like trail of blood leading anywhere. So like the how he ended up in that corner getting his throat slit. And spilling the blood there doesn't really make sense.
Can I ask him any more questions, or?
You can give it a shot. Sure. Let's make another check while you're
okay.
pressing him.
Can I use my boon to get maybe just one more answer out of him?
Sure. You got a boon on the king.
Were you killed in the warehouse, or did you die someplace else?
Somewhere else.
Okay.
Ollie's gonna look over into him and say,
I'm just you just see me staring at him very intently.
"Oh, I don't hear your side of the conversation at all."
You do. You hear
okay.
you hear him talk, but nobody else.
Yeah, I was about to say, that's a funny eulogy you got there. Was he speaking back to you?
I just kind of lean over, give you a rice smile, and go, as a matter of fact, he is. Just go right back to.
Well, Ollie, that's a goddamn miracle, is what that is.
Either that, or I'm taking it as sarcasm.
Sure.
What else do I want to ask him?
You can think about that while we jump back to the ladies.
Okay, yeah.
Back at the warehouse, you're being asked nicely to. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
I thought we were already escorting the premises.
Well, I mean that's where we kind of left you. Is like she's like kind of pushing you out the door. Giuseppe's right there. He's chatting with somebody who's there at a truck.
You want to just go, or you want to go talk to him?
Yeah.
You can just go.
I'm gonna quickly go talk to Giuseppe.
Okay. He kind of wraps up his conversation and turns around to you. And he doesn't put on a big grin, but he's got a little bit. He looks better than he did when you first ran into him out here. A little bit of a smile on his face, and a look of recognition in his eyes. All finished up?
Yeah. I only have one question.
Only one. You sure about that?
Only
He says,
one.
and he's playing with you. He's having fun. Good-natured playing with you. He's not being. Just so you're clear, he's not being, argumentative. Only one?
Okay, maybe 2. First question. Since how long did you realize who I was?
Oh, the moment I saw you. Well, a couple seconds in. You're grown up.
Second question. How's Miss Torio doing?
As far as I know, everything's good. There's, every day there's talk of retirement. The day she hands everything off to Capone, there's going to be blood in the streets. He's not going to deal with O'Banion well. There's going to be war. Not unless somebody figures out how to rein him in. Right now she's doing it, but I don't know that it's going to stick when she's gone.
Okay. Last question.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
May I have a hug?
Aw.
Oh, jeez. He smiles a little bigger, and kind of walks over and gives you he's clearly this is uncomfortable. He doesn't know what to do. This is odd for him, but he gives you the best hug he is able. And it's brief. It's not like one of those lovely hugs that, like 30 Rock. It's not a hug unless it lasts 10 seconds. It's like a second and a half, and he's kind of like, all right.
All right. Me and my friend are gonna go now. Maybe I'll see you later.
He says, I hope so.
Me too. Rosa turns around and walks over to Satroka, kind of in a hurry.
Okay, it's time to go now. It's time to go now.
I think I'm done.
Before I fall apart.
Before I break down here, go on.
I'm gonna take her arm and
As you're walking away, she's literally falling to pieces. Her arm falls off and just in a puddle of tears. Oh, Rose, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart.
I take her arm and I'm I walk her away and we walk away for a while until we get to a place where we can hail a cab.
Okay.
I get her home.
And then
I make sure we all go back to the
cab it back to the. Or are you going to go back and gamble some more?
No.
Go back to the speakeasy.
I'm gonna go back to the speakeasy, as tempting as it is to go anywhere else. I'm already in a lot of trouble, so I'm just gonna take her back to the speakeasy and make her a drink.
Okay.
Well,
Very, very stiff drink.
While we're in the cab, I'm gonna say to Satroka, don't tell anybody about my past, okay?
No.
I'm not really ready to tell anybody else yet.
It's okay. I not tell. I know I am lucky I have parent who not beat me, but I know a lot of people who grow up like that. It's terrible. And no, you find the other parent. Children always want parent. Even if you have one parent is terrible, you find another. So, you find. It's good.
And she slides, takes you back and pours you a stiff drink.
Just pure vodka.
Yeah,
just pure vodka. That's how
Cures
doesn't
all
normally accept drinks, but she checks it.
cures all woes, right, Stroka? Back in the Duesenberg, the pair of you, you've deposited the body. You've been super sneaky doing it. You've got a fancy car. What you up to?
Finish dumping the body and then head back to the warehouse.
I'm gonna look at back to the warehouse.
We still need booze.
Yeah, I was about to ask.
That was the entire reason we went there in the first place.
We can't go back empty-handed now, can we?
Nope.
I'm glad we're on the same page here. So, do you have a plan about the warehouse? What's the idea here? Because as much as I hate to say it, this is a lovely vehicle. If we need to acquire booze somewhere else, this car is probably worth quite a lot.
It
We
is.
could just buy it. Save ourselves some additional trouble. Sell the car, buy the booze. Or trade the car for lots of booze, depending on who we're talking to. But I love this car.
Well, Ollie, if it means that much to you, you're more than welcome to keep it. You've been a real friend. I appreciate everything you've done for me.
He doesn't know how to take that. He's just...
And I kind of like pat him on the shoulder.
Okay, then. So then what's the plan? How are we getting this this liquor here? Like I said, we can't go back.
Drive right up and ask for it.
Well, I mean, you did. You pulled Little Bill's wallet.
Yeah, I pulled all the cash he had on him.
He had a bunch of cash on him, so he's got like $300 in cash on him, in a money clip. So I mean, that'll buy you a fair bit of liquor. That'll keep the speakeasy rolling for a little while. The car is, it's hot, so you're not going to get off the lot dealer prices for it. So, but you could probably get $1,000 worth of, get $1,000 for that car. Maybe a little less, depending on whether people suspect that it's stolen.
No, Kieran has no intention of selling it unless Ollie wants to. It's Ollie's car.
I imagine you're the one driving it at this point, though, since Ollie doesn't know his way around.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Kieran could just be like, turn here.
Okay, fair enough.
At the light. That sort of thing.
Sure.
He's just directing you.
Cool.
Okay, so Ollie's got a car now.
Let's... And a Tommy gun. I've acquired quite a lot of stuff this game.
And $30.
Yeah, 40 actually, I believe. Anyways,
But you're down one jacket.
And down one jacket. Kieran's down one jacket.
Kieran comes so much further ahead than when he started.
All right, well, I suppose let's head back to the warehouse then. Our job is done. All right. So it's a long drive back.
Yeah, drive back to the warehouse. See if anybody's outside.
Okay. Yeah, you get back to the warehouse. Giuseppe's there now. Actually, by the time you get back there, there's like a couple other people there now, who are all packing guns. Looks like Giuseppe called in some reinforcements. He sees you guys pull up. He puts his. He doesn't face palm, but it's like the 1920s near equivalent. Like,
right.
Oh God. I thought we were done.
I came here to buy liquor.
Oh, God.
I go, we'll make it quick. 2 crates, or however much you want to give us, and I'll pay for it.
Well, I mean, you've got a car. You don't have a great way to haul. But you can, you can stay.
Duesenberg doesn't have a trunk?
Well, it's got a trunk, but crates, crates of like 16 bottles and barrels of beer take up space.
Yeah, barrels might be difficult. The liquor we can probably,
I wasn't gonna grab barrels of beer. I was just gonna grab boxes of bottles.
Okay, so I mean, you can blow pack the vehicle full for like $50 with still space for the two of you to sit.
That'll do.
He shuttles you guys through as quickly as possible. He's clearly taking you to the stuff that's closest to the dock door. He's like, it's just
I'm fully aware.
We're gonna grab it and we're gonna get out. Because he is tired of looking at your puss. Completes the transaction. The fella that went to check on his buddy, goon number 2 that you guys saw earlier, gives Ollie the old evil eye while everything is going on in there, and you get your booze and you head out.
Mm-hmm.
Ollie tips his hat to him when he sees the evil eye.
Make a mental note of who that guy is.
You've got a car full of booze and
Hopefully no police.
heading out of town, or what's the plan?
Heading back to the
speakeasy.
Back to the speakeasy.
Sure. You get back.
home.
You get back. You unload the whole deal.
Yep.
And the 4 of you are back at Sully's. It's awfully late.
Oh, good, you come back.
Of course we come back.
Had to get the booze. It was the entire reason we went there.
I must say Rose is drunk by this point. She's just kind of holding onto a glass and being like, so, Kieran, what is your problem with me exactly?
She have vodka.
Oh, Rosie, dude, you got the head start on us.
You want?
Was that... Oh. It probably had something to do when you pointed a gun at me and essentially sold us out when we were being confronted by armed people. No, I can't imagine why I would be offended by that at all.
I'm just like grinning and drinking, and I'm gonna go over to Ollie and like just lean on his shoulder and like watch.
But it's okay, Rose. I understand you were in a complicated situation. You and Giuseppe obviously seem to have some sort of previous history, and well, I'm not mad at you.
I'm going to lean over to Rose and say, I've got a new car. While they're having this.
Rose just kind of turns her head and looks at Ollie like, what?
Satroka, she's sitting with me. Anyways.
Oh, you got the car. Hey.
Okay.
Side conversation.
You show me.
But yeah, K-Man.
I'm gonna take Ollie and be like, show me your car, and take him outside so they can talk.
He's gonna grab a bottle on his way out.
Of course he is.
Me and Giuseppe do have history, but
Do you have a history with anyone else that would be useful to know about? I understand you might not want to go into specifics, but maybe, hey, Kieran, don't shoot that guy, or I'll have to shoot you. You know, that sort of thing.
Yeah. There's a few people in the Italian group. I will point them at you, and I will be very, very mad if you attempt to shoot them.
I'm gonna need some names. I'm sorry. Just pointing their faces out, that's not gonna work. I don't know if maybe you know, but I have a problem with some people in the Italians, so...
What? Okay, how about you tell me your reason for why you hate the Italians so much, and then I tell you the people.
So they murdered my brother, shot me in the leg, and left me to die when I was 10 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, it seems like we have had both fun times at age 10.
Apparently. What fun did you have at age 10?
Work.
So, Giattatorio. That name mean anything to you?
She is the boss.
Is she someone important to you?
Rose gets up, walks behind Kieran, wraps her arm around his neck and says, "You think?"
Rose, I'm really sorry. I used hypnosis on her.
Oh, jeez.
I'm going to make her forget that I told her this.
Okay. Make a check.
Okay?
Ooh.
Let's see.
What is this gonna challenge me on?
It is going to be versus your mind score.
Each time my character's body or mind is targeted with a power, I flip a card.
Yeah, she's power resistant.
Okay. This will be fun then. So let's see. 6 of hearts. I know that's not going to do it. I'm sure you've got a higher mind score than that. Let's see. I'm using a boost to... All right. This will be fun. Jack of clubs. Yeah, I'm going to stick with that.
Okay, so what are you doing? You're doing you're erasing a memory.
Yes.
Specifically, what?
The TS for the power targeting your current body or mind.
Hold on. Well, yeah, like yeah, you flipped low, so your power resistance didn't really help you. What happens is with power resistance, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm trying to remember, I only designed the damn game, is that whenever she's getting targeted, she flips a card, and the target score for the power that's being used against her is the normal score that it would take to hit her, or the card that she flipped, whatever is higher. So sometimes it helps a lot, and sometimes it just doesn't quite kick in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the 3 didn't, this time around anyway, the 3 didn't help you. So he does, what do you, just like, like that little bit of conversation that you just had where you revealed?
The part where I mentioned Torio.
Okay.
Everything else stays the same, but just the part where I mentioned Giada Torio.
Okay. Rose, you don't remember him ever talking about Torio from this point forward. You guys had kind of a heart-to-heart conversation, but the Torio thing was not part of it.
My arm is still around his neck, and my first thought is, why am I here?
And Kieran, I need you to play this ignorant. I'm going to say it so that everybody hears it, and so that the viewers and listeners know. Rose, he got a club on there. That's a complication. You don't remember what it was you were talking about, but you know he used his power on you. He messed with your head in some way. You don't know how, but you know it happened. There's like this little gap. Something like doesn't quite click.
Perfect.
But maybe you were drunk.
Rose is trembling a little. She knows for one thing, she is quite a bit drunk, but she knows for another thing, a part of her memory is missing, and it's Kieran's fault. The glass of lovely vodka in her hand falls to the ground, and she looks at him and she's like, "What did you do?"
What are you talking about? Rose, I think you've had a little bit maybe too much to drink.
She moves away from him and says, Maybe that's the case. Maybe I'm just too drunk. But for the rest of the night, you get to call me Thorn, and you get to stay that far away from me.
Fair enough. I'm sorry about shooting Giuseppe, by the way. I didn't know he was someone important to you. Otherwise, I never would have shot him. So,
but
sorry about that.
You did know. You did know. You're in the wrong. You did know. You and Ollie pushed me towards him and told me to say hello. Therefore, you did know.
Okay.
I didn't know you knew. I thought he was someone important to you, but I didn't know he was someone from your childhood. So my apologies.
As long as you apologize, I forgive you, but I still ask you to stay that far away from me.
Understand.
And
I'm
then
going...
you pass out.
What?
Outside, Ollie and Satroka are checking out Ollie's new wheels.
Yeah.
I'm
impressed. But I think we have to paint quick, hey?
Yeah, I'm not too fond of the color as it is now, anyways. Thinking something in a powder blue, maybe.
Oh, blue is good. Yes, that is good choice.
Look at the nice chrome on this, though.
Very shiny. You want to see your face in your own car.
Absolutely.
That way, when you drive past someone else, they see their face in your car.
Yeah, exactly.
Themselves looking jealous.
We may have to get Rose to help us with the back seat, though. It looks like there's a little bit of blood on the upholstery.
The two of you are admiring your reflections in the chrome when another person's reflection materializes out of nowhere.
Jesus Christ! Where did you come from?
And there's a woman standing behind you who says to the two of you, "There's a war coming, and you're going to have to pick a side. Just keep that in mind." And then she disappears. And that's
I just grab Ollie's arm, and then I grab the bottle of booze, and I drag him into the car with the booze.
And she's gone, and that's where I'm going to wrap up today's episode, everybody.
Yay.
Hooray.
Yay.
It sounded a little more excited than that. There were quite a lot of developments today.
No, that was a really fun episode.
We're sad that it's over, that's all.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, thank you, the four of you, for playing, my wonderful players. That was solid. That was good stuff.
Yeah.
We're not too far away from, I think, leveling up the characters. I'll be in touch with you about that. I think we're getting close to that point. To everybody who's listening or watching, thank you for joining us. This has been Capers the Chicago Way. There'll be another episode every Tuesday evening, 8 p.m. Eastern. Episodes go up on YouTube pretty quickly afterwards. And stay tuned to see what the war is. There's a war coming, everybody. And this group, in case you haven't picked up on it yet, this group of characters is very much... They're in the middle of the Italian side and the Irish side, and different characters have different reasons to like and hate those two different factions, and it looks like they might have to pick a side or suffer the consequences of not picking a side. If that lady's prediction comes true. So there we go, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Prophecy. That's really more of a prophecy.
Yeah, but this isn't
that was pretty ominous.
This isn't magic and wizards and this is superpowers. So I suppose
it's still a prophecy.
That's Ollie's reaction. He just looks over and goes, "Well, that was ominous, wasn't it?"
When it's magic, it's called a prophecy. When it's superpowers, it's called precognition.
Oh right, yes.
It's a fine line. It's a hair to be split.
Yeah, that's true.
So thank you, everybody. Take her easy. We're going to be out of here. Bye, everybody. Good night.